guys, this is Jay with Ask.Audio. I'm here with Nick Quaz, and we're going to look at the Volca mix. So finally a mixer for the Volcas.
That it is.
Yes, tell us about it.
It's really designed to be the hub of your Volca setup. Right now I have 3 Volcas that are not only being mixed by the Volca mix, they're also being powered using the included power cables. There's 3 faders on the front panel. It's a very compact mixer, but it still has physical faders. You have a pair of speakers which you can turn on and off for monitoring. Mute buttons per channel, and speaking of channels, there's 2 mono channels coming in, a stereo channel, and then you have an aux input, which is stereo, and that goes along sometimes. You can use it for mono send out, which is over here, and then you have 3 send knobs, 1 for each channel, but you can also use the aux input, the stereo aux input, to mix if you want to bring in another Volca or another input, and there's even an analog filter per channel.
Oh, wow.
Based on the analog filter found in the Volca sample. So that's low, high cut. It's got a really nice, creamy analog sound to it, so you can do like a filter sweep or a drop with that while you're playing live. And then of course, on the front panel, you have a couple effects. So there's a dynamics knob, and that's gonna bring in a little bit of compression, and there's a couple sweet spots where it'll actually do pumping sidechain style compression. And there's a speed control for that. There's obviously a volume knob, and that affects the volume of both the headphone, the main output, RCA, and of course the speaker output. And then there's a width knob, and stereo width is something that really adds to a mono mix. So some of the Volcas are mono, some of the Volca, like the Volca sample, is stereo. The stereo width knob is a great way to add some width to your mono Volca mix, your mono mix that you're doing on the Volca mix. And of course, there's a clock on board. So you have a 3-digit master clock.
Oh.
So there is a master clock, and it's a 3-digit 7-segment display, which has a detented tempo knob. So, and that'll output clock when the play button is pressed. So if you have the play button paused, but the play buttons on your other Volcas are lit, they're not receiving clock yet, but as soon as I press that play button, they're going to start receiving clock, so you can bring everything in at once.
Okay, awesome.
You can have everything do a big entrance at once, so it's a great way to add some performability. The clock actually outputs, can output 16, pulse per 16th, which is a great way to clock your Eurorack system as well if you're a modular fan.
So it's like the Volca hub.
It's really the, it's
It could be an
the
anything hub.
capital city of Volca land, basically.
That's awesome. So any news on any other Volcas? Maybe like a Volca wavetable, or?
That would certainly be really cool. We're always expanding the Volca lineup. It started with the original 3 analog Volcas, and now look at our family. We've got the analog Volcas over here, Volca Kick, FM, sample, and now Volca Mix over here. Volca is definitely a line that we're proud of, and a family that we're happy to have, and it's growing,
Awesome.
always
I
growing.
love the